I am wearing the most legendary, famous, awesome tech suit ever released. It's Speedo's LZR Racer, and it was launched for 2008 and the Beijing Olympics. And outside of swimming so many world records and making such a big fuss, it also was worn by one of the most impressive athletic, not swimming, athletic feats of history. And that was, of course, Michael Phelps winning 8 individual gold medals at a single Olympic Games. The release of the LZR Racer caused such a fuss because it broke what we thought was possible with a tech suit, and it increased performance by such a huge margin that it ultimately led to tech suits getting banned and us having to race in what we wear today, jammers. Over the last couple of years, I've had a little bit of a theory, and I'm not just wearing this suit for the fun of it. I'm going to put this crazy theory I've had to the test. And that theory is that the jammers we have today, the very best jammers, were faster than this 2008 LZR Racer bodysuit. Now, of course, there's only one way I can find out if my theory is true, and that's get in the pool and race a 50 freestyle with both this, the LZR Racer, and what I think is the fastest tech suit on the market now, the Mizuno GX Sonic VI MV. I'm not going to leave anything up to guesswork today either, and I'm going to be going off the blocks for a 50 freestyle in both suits with ample rest. And to make sure the timing is accurate, I'm going to be using electronic timing touchpads so that the timing is down to the 100th of a second. Let me know in the comments what suit you think is going to be faster, this old school Speedo LZR Racer full body with polyurethane panels or a 2024 jammer. Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoy this content, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. The Speedo LZR Racer was an icon from its inception in 2008, and not just because of the stunning space-age looks that wowed swimmers and non-swimmers alike, but it was its performance that really set it into the stratosphere. And that's because in 2007, tech suits weren't very good, and Speedo paved the way to what we know with the LZR Racer with the FS Pro launch. But it was in 2008 that the performance really took this monumental leap. And a lot of the features we still see in tech suits from all the brands today were launched and conceived with Speedo's LZR Racer. I'm talking about the main fabric, which Speedo at the time called Laser Pulse. This thin polyamide and elastin, this papery light material, is still used by most suits. But before 2007, suits were thick and heavy, and even though bodysuits were an option, most swimmers opted to go for a jammer just to stop the restrictiveness and the heaviness of the bad tech suits that were on the market. The other thing that the LZR Racer was the first ever race suit to have was bonded seams, and every flagship we have on the market today has bonded seams, but that was a completely foreign concept until Speedo's LZR Racer. Now, the reason that this suit was so good, outside the thin papery material and the bonded seams, was that it was the first time we had a non-textile fabric in a race suit, and that was in the form of these polyurethane panels that were strategically placed over the suit to channel water, to provide extra compression, and to create buoyancy in the water. These panels were strategically placed alongside NASA, which was just crazy. But they were also the reason for the biggest oversight with this suit. And that was the fact that they only covered the suit with 30% polyurethane, leaving this laser pulse fabric to shine through. The reason this was an issue is because every other brand in the world realized that if you went 100% on 90% polyurethane, you got even better a suit. And in 2009, Arena released the X-Glide Jacket, the JO1, Adidas the Hydrofoil, and these 100% polyurethane suits were even faster again. That being said, the success that the LZR Racer saw in 2008 was just ridiculous. To clarify, from its release, it set 93 world records in the next 18 months, and 94% of the gold medal winners at the Beijing Olympics, so 34 gold medals in swimming, 94%, so I presume that was 32 gold medals were won in the LZR Racer, and 98% of the 104 Olympic swimming medals in Beijing were worn by people in Speedo LZR Racers. That's a complete monopoly. We don't have that today. That is basically saying, well, are you serious about swimming? Do you want to compete? Do you want to win medals? Well, if so, you have to wear this Speedo suit, because if you're not wearing this Speedo suit, you're going to get beaten by someone wearing this Speedo suit. And that was kind of the theme for 2008. I've really enjoyed being able to wear this suit, even if my one is falling apart in front of my eyes. I have done my swim in it now, which is why it's a little bit worse for wear. And I would love to get my hands on some newer, a closer to brand new version of this and talk to you a bit about it a bit more, because it's such a cool suit, such an iconic suit. And the suits in 2009 just didn't look as cool as these strategically placed panels that the LZR Racer had. And I remember this when it launched. It was on the front of newspapers. I got a leg skin from my granddad for my, what would have been 13th birthday. And I was just so chuffed and over the moon. Anyhow, I'm going to put this suit on. I'm going to rip a 50 off the blocks and see if it's still as fast as it was back then. Wow, that is crazy. Better than I thought it was going to be. I literally just went and done like a push and glide in like 2 strokes. So buoyant, way crazier than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why I had this image in my mind that this suit wasn't that crazy. It's actually that crazy. And I don't know, I'm either going to feel weird as hell in this race, or I'm going to go fast as hell. I think I might be fast and feel weird. We'll see. So I've just finished my first 50 of the day. God, I've bitten off more than I can chew. Long course is so hard. There is a short course tank here, but it's really hot and doesn't have proper blocks. So I decided to go long course, and I've made the challenge 1 million times hard for myself. But the first time, the benchmark for the jammer set by the LZR Racer is 25.07. And a few things I want to talk about. First of all, this suit felt phenomenal. And this suit is 17 years old. It is not brand new. It's an antiquity at this point. And you can probably see with all these patches on the polyurethane panels, but it seemed in pretty good nick until I started putting it on. I don't know if it's just the warm Thailand air that's melting the polyurethane, or if it just, you know, was worse for wear. The polyurethane panels have started basically falling off. They've almost fully come off on the legs here. They're coming off on the abdomen. These other chest ones are doing pretty well, but the suit is pretty beaten up, and there's no way in my mind that doesn't negate the performance of this suit. That being said, from the moment, the moment I tested it out before my race, but from the moment I dived in, this suit pulls you up, and it's a buoyancy you don't get in a jammer, probably because of the coverage, but it was really this midriff area, the lower back, up to the upper back, that's pulling you up in the water, and you just ride so high. Honestly, it's the best I've felt doing a long course 50 in a long time, and I don't doubt that if I got a new one of these and had some training under my belt, I could crush my PB in this suit, because it just took away all my badness in my swimming, my negative traits like my poor core stability, my poor position in the water. This just fixes it. I didn't even have to engage my core, and I was up high in the water and channeling down that length. So I was super impressed, and to be honest, my theory was that the jam would be quicker, and now I'm standing here recovering before my next 50, thinking that the jammer, there's no way the jammer is quicker than this, because this was just phenomenal. And it was humbling to me, because I kind of started to write this suit's quality off in my head, and it really is still the real deal. The fact that there were suits the year after better than this blows my mind, because this thing is fast, and goddamn do I miss it. Anyhow, I'm gonna finally get a breath in, because this thing is tight on the chest, get changed into my Mizuno, and give one more all-out 50 long course for you. I was hoping to recover between the last swim and this 50, but I forget that putting on the Mizuno GX Sonic VI MV is a workout in and amongst itself. That being said, this suit is objectively very fast. It's measured to be very fast, and in all my suit testing, I don't think there is a jammer on the market today that can get from one point to the other point as fast as this suit. And we're going to put it to the test and see if I can beat the 25.07 that I did in the LZR Racer wearing just a jammer. There is a quarter of as much coverage on my body. There is no crazy polyurethane panels, but there is some great technology going on, such as the dual layering and the X hamstring taping this suit has. So let's get to the blocks, rip another 50 and see if I can sneak a 24 point. There we go. My second 50 was done and my theory was proven correct. I did indeed swim faster today in a 50 freestyle long course with electronic timing in a modern World Aquatics approved Mizuno jammer. Quicker than I went in the 2008 legendary banned full body laser racer. And I was struggling to recover between the two reps, and I think that's why in my head I was getting a little worried that I was going to go slow on the second rep. But I dived in, the compression felt wildly good on the Mizuno. It popped my hips up and I felt so unrestricted on the shoulders. My stroke rate and power at the front of the stroke just felt so much better than it did in the bodysuit. And I felt like I was flying in fifth gear all the way to the 35 mark where I had to take a breath. And it did really hurt after that, I'm not going to lie to you. I did hit the pain train, but I got my hands full nice and long. And both me and my competitor from Danyapura, we both dropped a considerable amount of time. He actually dropped more than me between the first and second rep. But I still managed to get my hands full first, and I went faster today in a Mizuno jammer. I think that said a lot about how sophisticated advanced technologies that go into our modern World Aquatics race suits today, and how we have, over the course of a 16-year period, started to bring suit technology back to where it was at the end of the 2000s. That being said, the big caveat with this test day is that I think the jammers are better than the 2008 Laser Racer. I do not think they're better than the 2009 Arena X Sky, Jacket Joe 1, Blue 70 Nero, and Adidas Hydro 4. Them suits were still on a complete different plane of existence. And if I'd worn one of them today, I don't doubt I'd have been a considerable margin faster. And the only other caveat or asterisk I should mention is that if I'd had a little bit of a while to learn how to swim fast in the Laser Racer bodysuit, and maybe had a brand new one that wasn't falling apart, I think today's testing could have been flipped on the outcome. I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, so I'm doing so many more cool videos like this one, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.